Okay, so we are here today. We are talking about the chosen. Why how God chooses people, how God chooses his children. Yesterday we laid foundations for the revealers and the concealers, and why God is rewarding the concealers, is rewarding the wicked. People that do evil and conceal it is rewarding wickedness, and is rewarding, yes, is rewarding wickedness in order to expose it. So when it is exposed, then you can punish it. You can either punish it, or you can either correct it or punish it. If you choose correction, then you'll be mildly punished until you are able to correct it. If you refuse to correct it, then you'll be punished eternally. As long as you hold on to the evil you are doing, you will keep on enduring punishment. So I'm going to explain it more clearly now with a more biblical example that was like laying foundations. So the chosen, I talk about revealers versus concealers. Now you see it, a clear story of what I'm talking about him rewarding the wicked and punishing the righteous, with the story of Noah. I call it the curse of Ham. After Noah, after the flood, and they resettled on dry land and everything became normal, Noah planted a garden. According to the Bible, Noah planted a garden, a vineyard. Sorry, not a garden, a vineyard. That is why a winery. Planted a vineyard to produce wine. So he drank of the wine. He drank too much, more than he could take, more than he could bear, obviously. And then he felt drunk, and then he was naked. In his drunkenness, he fell naked, and then he slept off in his room. So Ham came in and saw him naked and drunk. Now, this is very significant spiritually. We are going to have to, no respect of person. So analyzing it the way it is. I'm not just going to assume somebody is righteous because he's supposed to be righteous, he's supposed to be this. I'm going to analyze it. I can't really explain in depth now why Noah is a sinner, but let's just keep going. You understand as we go along. I'll just lay the periphery right now. So Ham came in and saw him naked. Now, like I was saying, so the significance of the drunkenness. Drunkenness means that he fell under the power of the Spirit. That's what being drunk means. He was overwhelmed. This means he was conquered by the wine, was conquered by the Spirit, was conquered by this external influence. You know, the children of God are supposed to be overcomers. They that fight with God and with man are overcome. They are not supposed to be overcome. They are supposed to overcome things. But the wine had overcome him. Then he was naked. Nakedness means he was unjustified. He was not supposed to have done what he did. There was no excuse for him being in that state. You know, like when you do something wrong, and maybe your parents call you, or whoever it is that is in charge of you, has authority over you, or even if it's just your friends, and they call you out on it, and you try to defend yourself, and you find that your defense is not holding, how do you feel naked? That lack of justification makes you feel naked, makes you feel vulnerable, makes you feel exposed. Like all your shame is exposed, all your inner parts, all your private parts, your shame that you'd have liked to keep secret has been exposed. So that's what nakedness signifies spiritually. So that is where he was. The drunkenness, he was not supposed to be drunk, and it was exposed. And he was not supposed to be, he was not justified for that, why he was naked. So Ham came and saw him in this state and said, isn't this the savior of the world, the righteous man, the only righteous man in the world? How come he's naked? And he told his brothers, the curious, see what I saw. This great daddy, I saw him drunk and naked in the room. And then so he was revealing the questionable aspects of Noah. He was revealing it. And then when Shem and Ham heard about it, they refused to even see it. They went in there with a blanket backwards. They held it against their shoulders, entered backwards, and covered him up, concealing. So what they were basically saying is that if Noah is an unrighteous man, we don't want to see it, we don't want to know about it, we want to keep on blindly following him. The way many people do their religions nowadays. When a Christian sees something questionable about Christianity, he blinds himself to it and says it's a mystery. When a Muslim sees questionable things about Islam, he blinds himself to it and says it's a mystery. When Buddhists, anybody that is passionate, they just keep on blinding themselves to the questionable parts of their own doctrines and going on with it blindly. When scientists see things about Christianity or their archaeologists discover things, they usually cover those things up. There are many things that they have seen that actually give credence to religion and to biblical stories and to God's point of view, but they cover it up, and then they begin to promote their own that question it. So that bias, that covering up, only trying to support your own perspective, you don't care about the context, because this is context now. Okay, we believe Noah is a righteous man, but there are things he has done. So let us see it. Let us put it all in context and see if we can balance it out. Understand? Is it that he's a righteous man, he made a mistake? or he's an unrighteous man and he was a hypocrite. Let us, but we need the context. This thing also happened. This is also a part of his history. We cannot just bury it and say it never happened. Let us know what we are dealing with. That's what Ham was for. Let us know what we are dealing with. This is also a truth about this man. Yes, he saved the world, he built the ark, he obeyed God, but now he's also found naked. So how do we balance it? How do we reconcile it? What exactly is he? Is he a good man with bad sides, or is he a bad man? Let us know the truth, but we need the whole context. But they didn't want to have anything that was not positive to their initial assumptions, to their initial presumptions, to their initial understanding of things. That is like what your forefathers gave you, the religion your parents gave you, you blindly support it. When you see questionable things about it, you refuse to acknowledge it. That's what they were doing. So they came and covered him up and said, we don't want to see those questionable things. And then when Noah woke up, he heard about what happened, and then he was angry with Ham. And to show you that it is a spiritual thing, and this is how God was rewarding the spiritual thing, he cursed, instead of him to curse Ham, he cursed Canaan, the son of Ham. And Canaan is not even the first son of Ham. If you read the Bible, it's somewhere around the third. So if you wanted to curse him, wouldn't you have cursed the firstborn? But he was cursing it was very, very strategic. He cursed Canaan instead of him to curse Ham. And he was cursing Canaan because Canaan, the name Canaan means they that subdue. The name Canaan means they that subdue. So it is a version of the Israelites. That's why it is the land that they were supposed to inherit. You can see how the Bible keeps on coming together. It was not written by men. It was written by these men that were inspired by the Spirit of God, because the only Spirit of God that could have known the implications of all these things, how they all tie together. That's why you see the Israelites. Israel means they that fight with God and with men and overcome. They fight with God and with men and overcome. You fight with God by refusing to leave Him, and you fight with men by refusing to join them in their wickedness. You fight with God by refusing to leave Him, even though serving Him, practicing righteousness is not profitable. So you refuse to leave. You follow Him in good times and in bad times. Then you fight men by refusing to join them, even though wickedness is very profitable. You avoid them even in good times. And that is the proof, that is the foundation. The seal, the proof that you are a righteous man. That you are actually a righteous man, not by faith. The deed. You can see that you cannot be shifted, because when wickedness was made profitable, that attraction, the draw to sin, to evil, you still could not attract you. So it means it's like you have resisting gravity, you have overcome gravity. Gravity could not pull you down. Gravity wanted you to come and join them in doing wickedness so you could profit. And you said, no, I will not. So you are still floating on air, you are still maintaining your righteousness. Gravity is bringing you down, but you say no. So you are floating, you are flying, which is what we explained about the 144,000 is the rapture. The ability that is how you are raptured. The more you are able to separate from men and refuse to join them in their wicked ways, in their profitable wicked ways. So, he cursed Canaan, which means they that subdue. So what he was cursing was that ability to subdue great men, that ability to subdue hypocrites that have great titles but lack the character to support that title, to support that position, to support that office that they have been given. That ability to expose secrets, to reveal the truth, which God is, to reveal the truth, the innermost parts of people. There's a place in Ezekiel where they spoke about the sword, a great and terrible sword that's going to expose is a sword that exposes the privy places of great men. I will put it. I can't remember it now, but I will put it down later on in edits. So that is what Ham represented. That Spirit of God. The Bible says that the heart of man is deep waters, but the wise man will draw it out. So Ham was able to expose his evil. Expose and reveal his evil. And those ones were covering it up. So those concealers, that is darkness, they are concealing truth so you don't have context. You don't have information to make a proper decision, to know who you are dealing with and if you should continue dealing with him. They want you to just have the side that favors them. So even if they are hurting you, you'll keep following them blindly. So Noah cursed Ham and said that you, that is a revealer, you will be cursed, you will be a servant of servants to your brothers. And Shem, that initiated the concealment, you will be the king of kings. And Japheth, that supported the concealment, you will be a king under him too. Which brings us to the curse of Ham. That's why the black race is the one at the bottom now, and the white race, which is Shem. That's why the Israelites, they look like Americans, they look like Europeans, they don't look like Asians. They're actually Asians. You can see that in the video, or I think it's actually my first video on the channel. Or I think the second one, first or second. What was the title? A Brief Moral History of Humanity. I detailed this stuff. You'll see it there, how the races became and why it seemed impossible at first. So that's why even now you can see that the nerds and the enlightened people have a more difficult time. And the people that have no interest in knowledge only want to party and want to have fun are celebrities. They are celebrated. So it's not just a matter of being kings. It's not just about the white race and the black race. You can see in every dimension that prophecy has come to pass. The nerds that are actually trying to solve problems, actually solve your problems, that cure your cancers and cure your diseases, they do all these things, nobody remembers them. Then a few people come and do some small spectacular things, and then they are celebrities, everybody is worshipping them. So the concealers that want to hide their scandals are celebrated, and the revealers that reveal problems and try to fix them are despised. They are nobodies. They pay them miserable salaries, and then celebrities just come and snap pictures, and they are given millions. So everything is working for them, for the concealers, and everything is working against the revealers, even to this day. People that have insight. I saw a post just yesterday on those Facebook memes. They put Keanu Reeves' picture. I don't know if it's him that said it, but I said you notice that the most considerate people, nicest people, are usually the ones that are alone. And then the most selfish and narcissistic people, usually, if it's a man, usually see many girlfriends. If it's a woman, she's the hottest chick in town. While the good girl manages to get one guy, but the bad girl, the other one, is the one that every guy is following. Stuff like that. It's their time. Don't worry too much about it. It's their time, so that they can enjoy it. So when the time for punishment comes, it will be like if you that did not deserve to be rewarded was rewarded, how much more the person that deserves to be rewarded? And if the person that does not deserve to be punished, to suffer, to be humiliated, to be despised, to be disregarded, was disregarded, how much more you that is not worthy of that is not worthy of honor, to be disregarded? How much more you that is actually nothing about you. You actually do not fix any problem. You actually do not care about anybody. You're actually very selfish, very self-centered, very narcissistic. If how much more you should you be despised? If people that should not have been despised were despised, how much more you that should be despised should be despised? I think it's in the Bible. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Everything's in the Bible. There was a place he said, God told, I think, was it Elijah, or I can't remember the prophet, but he told him to take a cup of madness and give it to the people. And if they say they will not drink it, tell them that they must drink it. That if people that did not deserve to drink it drank it, how much more the person that deserves to drink it must drink it. So this thing keeps on. I plan to talk about two aspects of this revealing and concealing today, but it seems it's much deeper than I usually think. So I'll stop it again. I told you I don't want the videos to be too long, so I'll stop it again. Tomorrow I'll discuss the second aspect of the chosen. So the first aspect is that God chooses the revealers and rejects the concealers. Even though at the beginning he rewarded the concealers and it seemed like he was with the concealers, but it was so that he could expose them. And then, so God's people are the revealers because God is light and Satan is darkness. So the concealers are the problem, even though they were rewarded initially. That is why the world has been going the way it is. So it will now be turned around because the end has come. They have gotten to the peak. That's what the things we explain. That's what I mean by why. So you can understand why the whole world has been going the way it has been going. Why is going to explain it. Without I can't just say why this, because it is why of everything. It is the why of everything. So I just said why. That's why the title is so vague. Because if I might try to say why, what is, I'm limiting it. And it is not limited. It's the why of everything. So, I make the introductions again since it has been some time. My name is Funom Zock-Sock, and I started this YouTube channel so that I could teach God's version of things, God's side of the story, why he did it the way he did it, and why it actually makes a whole lot of sense. I'll see you tomorrow.